Hello, everyone. We are here to talk about the most exciting and fun topic in the whole world, budgets. Everybody thinks that we need a budget. All the financial gurus are out there telling us we need a budget, you need a budget. Our budget's great. Well, personally, I think that they are terrible. And I'm going to tell you why. Just a quick disclosure here, guys. Please use the following information for educational purposes only. We are not lawyers, certified public accountants, or financial advisors. Please seek professional advice on an as-needed basis. Thank you. Quick overview of what we're going to be talking about today. Why do budgets fail? It's pretty obvious, but some people just haven't really sat back and thought about it. We're going to compare budgets to what a freedom plan is, and we'll tell you what a freedom plan is as well. We're going to create a path to success. We're going to avoid some landmines along the way, and we're going to help you jump on those power-ups that are going to get you even to your goals as more fast than what you thought you could in the past. And we're going to give you a simple action plan to kind of get the ball rolling to start today. So why do budgets fail? Well, people think that they have one, but they really don't. They have what's called checkbook accounting. And if you're wondering what checkbook accounting is, you look in the checkbook and do we have money? Yes, we do. That means we can spend money versus, oh, we don't have any money in the checking book or a checking account right now. What should we do? Well, I guess we got to sit at home and do nothing. You have money, then you spend it. If you don't, then you wait till you get more. Some people that do this and kind of get into trouble with credit cards or what have you, they develop a quick budget and it's way too strict. So the pendulum is too far to the left and we're spending money left and right, hand over fist. And we go, stop. We need to get on a budget and we need to get on it yesterday. So what am I going to do? I'm going to cut everything in half. I'm not going to spend any money unless it's an absolute necessity. You make a budget that's way too strict and people fall off of it and they fail relatively quickly. Lack of planning for the unexpected. Budgets don't plan for the unexpected. Yes, they'll have your electricity bill, they'll have your heating bill, what have you, but it doesn't plan for the unexpected. And this is where people get frustrated and they give up on themselves. Lack of follow through and tweaking. Your life is going to change and you're going to get married, you might get divorced, you might have kids, you might get sick, you might get a promotion, you might get a demotion, whatever. Your financial prospects are going to change throughout your life. And a budget is great for maybe that day or your current situation without any sort of changes whatsoever. And budgets just don't do that. They are not a living, breathing document. They are there for solid, rigid structure. And unfortunately, life doesn't happen that way. You need something that is you can tweak along the way. So what is the winning formula? Are you ready? Write it all down. Here we go, real quick. The winning formula is you should just eat ramen noodles and drink tap water and ride a rusty bike everywhere. Yes, some people might be chuckling and thinking this is funny, but actually there's people out there right now that are preaching this type of financial frugality. And you know what? It's probably great for some people. If you can stand to live on ramen noodles, drink tap water, ride a rusty bike, and make $200K a year and sock all your money away for someday, great. Then I guess just do that because you can do it. And you probably don't need a budget in the first place anyway, if you can do all that. So this is more of a joke, but this is what people are trying to tell us what to do with our money. And it's just basically just live on a shoestring budget, make a ton of money, and you'll be happy someday. I'm not a big fan of this. I get what they're trying to say, and I think their position's in a good place, but this ultimately is not going to work for the regular person. A freedom plan. Maybe let's just do a freedom plan. What is a freedom plan? Well, I can tell you what a freedom plan is. by not by telling you what it is not. So a budget, what is a budget? A budget uses apps and tracking tools. What does a freedom plan do? Well, a freedom plan uses apps and tracking tools. So far, they're the exact same. A budget is short term. You screwed up, you blew your money on something. Maybe you're behind on your bills, your credit cards are stacking up. Budgets are short term. Now, whether you think it's going to be a long-term situation, it's not, because they're just not designed to be long-term. They're short-term instruments to get you back on the right track, and or maybe just get rid of waste spending or excess spending. A freedom plan is lifelong. It is a living, breathing document that fluctuates, it expands, it contracts, it expands in some areas and it contracts in others. And this is something that you're going to be using for the rest of your life. It needs to change, and it will change with you if you keep up with it. Much different from a budget. Number 3, budgets are unmotivating. Whenever you hear a budget, it's like a diet. It's just like you only get to eat green food and drink water, and you have to run 1,000,000 miles a day to lose weight. That's the same what a budget is. A budget is make more money, spend less money, and live on a shoestring budget. Nobody wants to do that. Everybody thinks that they have to do that because they live in such excess before. A freedom plan is inspiring. It is maybe a little bit tough to get going, but the way that you plan this out is it's going to be an upward trajectory. And it might be a little bit tough now, but there are ways to have fun now along the way. And it's like, I don't have to wait 20 years before I can start going to concerts again, or I don't have to wait six months before I can go out and have a meal. It's fun. You can do fun things now and grow as your budget grows, as your freedom plan grows, excuse me. Budgets are one size fits all. I can tell you what a budget is. You just go, this is a budget that everybody has. You're spending 100% now. Okay, cut out 25%. Now you're spending 75% and you're saving 25%. Now that's a budget. Or 80-20 or 90-10 or 50-50, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're not meant for you personally. It's just a straight slice across the board. What's a freedom plan? How's that different? It's customized to your life. In some areas, you are probably spending way too much. In other areas, you're probably spending not enough. And that is a little bit different than what a budget is. And we'll kind of get to that a little bit later on. But I hope that you're kind of getting the basics of this, at least the 10,000 foot view right here, right now. Budgets are monthly expenses only. They do not account for the unexpecteds in life. And this is why people get tired and frustrated and burn out, and they get frustrated and they give up. This is the point where most people give up, was when they hit that unexpected roadblock and they're just like, forget it. I don't want to do this anymore. And they just get mad and they go blow money. A freedom plan is life expenses 360. Now, I could have put a little degree mark there, but I put an asterisk instead, because this is not going to be every single possible situation for your life. It is what is going to happen and what is most likely going to happen in your life. And you'll see at the end here when we kind of do a final analysis, what's going to go in there, what shouldn't go in there. We're not putting in here asteroid insurance. We're not putting in here volcano insurance or something crazy, unless you leave it next to a volcano. But anyway, that might be just a good point to move. But what is most likely going to happen in your life? Put this in your freedom plan. Budgets, easy to create and hard to stick to. Like I said before, you're spending 100%. All right, just spend 75%. Easy, done, right? Well, yeah, that's easy to say and hard to do. 3 months from now, you're going to be like, I don't want to, this is harder than heck. Freedom plans are tougher to create, but easier to stick to. They start out hard because you actually have to use the gray matter between your ears to get this going. This is going to be out of your comfort zone, a little bit tough to do. And I'm not being condescending here. It's just, you're going to be moving into a situation, an exercise you probably have never done before. But the hard part is the beginning, and then it gets easier as time goes on. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But this is the overview of what a freedom plan is versus what a budget is. A path to success. How do you get the freedom plan that you actually want? What are the steps that you need to do? Well, the will. Why am I doing this? And this is the hard part. And this is just the overview right here. Habits, knowing yourself and setting up a plan that works for you. Correcting the course. This is, oh, this is not working very well. I need to change this. Or, whoa. I didn't know I had a gym membership from like 3 that I had gotten in January. I don't have anymore. Let's get rid of this. Growing your path to success. That'll be self-explanatory later on. Let's just jump into it and keep going. But this is the overview right here. The will. Why are you doing this? We all know we need to be financially fit. That's an obvious statement. But what does it mean to you to be financially free or financially successful or financially fit? What does that mean to you? Does that mean a big house, a big car, and a private jet? Okay, well, that's what the TV ads are telling us what that means, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what you want. And when I say what you want, I mean what you want, not what your spouse wants, your mom wants, your dad wants, your dog wants for you, the next door neighbors. You're not trying to keep up with them and, keep up with, if he got a bigger lawnmower, then I need to get a lawnmower that's twice the size of his so that he knows that I'm doing better than him. It doesn't mean any of that stuff. It means, what do you want? What does financial freedom, prosperity mean to you? And we'll get a little bit into this of how you kind of get this working in your brain. But what will you be doing when you're financially free? Ask these kind of probing starter questions here. What would you be doing if you were financially free? Who would you be doing it with? How often? What would you not be doing? And throw a negative in here because that can kind of get the gray matter working too. What are some regrets in the past that you have due to lack of finances? What did you miss out on because you didn't have enough money to do it? An event, maybe you couldn't buy something, maybe you couldn't get the present that you wanted to get for somebody, couldn't wear the nicest clothes, missed out on an event or trip, whatever. Think about these questions are very important, and these are going to be a pain in the neck to get moving, but the more you dive in, the better it's going to be for you. And this is the hardest part right here, guys. And if you need more help on this, write down in the comments how you're struggling with this, and I can reach out to you and we can figure this out along the way together. When you're creating this, what does financial freedom look like to me? What does prosperity look like to me? The first thing you want to do is just blast it all on the piece of paper. Just no holds barred, free flowing thoughts, no punctuation. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about spelling. Just go. Just if it's a thought in your mind, it needs to go on the piece of paper, and just keep hammering it down until your brain feels completely empty. Then when you have all this good mess in front of you, organize your thoughts. Be specific. Dial things out a little bit more. Oh, you like to mountain climb? Okay, who do you like to mountain climb with? What type of gear would you be having? Why do you like to mountain climb in the first place? What is that? Why mountain climbing? Why is that so important to you? What's fun about that? Be colorful. Be emotional. What feelings are you feeling while you're mountain climbing? Be colorful. Throw some adjectives in there. What do the rocks feel like on your hands? Are you wearing, do you have gloves on because you're mountain climbing and it's actually cold where you're at? Or are you mountain climbing where it's hot? Be positive. Those regrets that we wrote down before, turn those into positive points. I never miss out on concerts. I go to every single concert that I absolutely want to, and I bring it, and I have the ability to pay for an extra friend that doesn't have any money. I could bring her along too, and she enjoyed it. It was great. I always get to every single concert that I want to get to. Write out a working draft. So it's organized. You're starting to spell things correctly. Maybe you're grouping things together. You're putting it together. And when I say write out a working draft, you don't need a final copy here. This doesn't need to be New York Times ready to go. It needs to be, this is a breathing, living document. And get it to the point where it's succinct and to the point. And every word has a lot of meat on it. It's specific. You're using tons of adjectives, action items, action words, action phrases. You get emotional. You get excited. You get pumped up when you're reading this. You get happy, sad, crying, whatever. You're emotional. We're not reading information at the DMV here. We're reading something that is supposed to get you excited and pumped out. And when you do read it every single day. Say it out loud, daily. Record yourself saying it so that on your way to work, you can listen to it. Always speak in the present tense too. Even if you don't have something, say it as if you do, because beliefs are where you need to start. You need to believe that you can actually do this, because this is going to be a journey that you're going to be on for the rest of your life. And you need to believe that you can actually do this. That is the first step. The second step is that your beliefs will start to influence your behavior. Once you start to believe it as if it already is, your behaviors will change. And when your behaviors change, your results will start to change. Things will start to pop up in front of you. And trust me, it takes a while to do it, but it does happen. And when you start to see results, that just reinforces your own beliefs. And when I'm speaking about saying it in the present tense, you would not say, I will live in a nice house someday. Say, I live in a great house right now. It has 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,500 square feet. It looks out on a lake that I get up every single morning and I have my coffee with my spouse and I work from home, that type of stuff. Not someday. I don't hear someday crap. None of that. It's happening right now. Even if it really is not, say it if it's happening right now. Habits. Know yourself. This is important because every single person is going to adapt to this differently. Budgets are for cookie cutter type situations. They don't work. Freedom plans are custom tailored to you. So let's break down some key important issues here that you need to kind of ask yourself some tough questions. Am I a numbers person? Personally, I am. I don't mind looking at numbers. I don't mind running through them and taking a look at them. If you are, great. If you're not, that's fine too. But someone that you know and you trust, or an app that you use, has to be the numbers person. So either do it yourself or delegate to somebody else. And this can be an app or it could be a bookkeeper. Now, just a quick disclaimer here. If you have personal information and you are just obviously be careful where you're putting it. But your numbers need to be tracked one way or another. If you're not a numbers person, someone needs to do it, or something, a tool, an algorithm, whatever. Where are my strengths? And I put in here impulse shopping. And let me explain this. I go to the grocery store, I get up to the counter, and I see the gum, the Tic Tacs, the candy bars, and the magazines. I look at them and I go, who buys this crap? Why would you buy this crap? And then I ring out and I walk away. I'm not an impulse shopper. I don't have that problem. That's not me. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But the key takeaway here is, where are your strengths when it comes to spending? Where do the advertisers just completely miss you and you just don't get got? Where are my weaknesses? Do you have an online buying problem? Are you constantly perusing the online stores and purchasing stuff and getting little quote unquote presents all the time in the mail? This is where maybe your weakness is. You need to identify these, and you need to be 100% honest with the person in the mirror, because that's the only person you need to be honest with. You don't have to tell the truth to anybody else in this regard, but you have to be at least honest to yourself. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? And we're going to talk about attacking these and maximizing these down the road, but just we need to identify them first here. What are my key results? I don't want to hear, I'm going to be rich someday. What does that even mean? What does rich mean? Rich means different things to different people, and someday is the same as never. They need to be time-bound, dollar signs attached to everything. Here's an example. I want to make $300 a month extra positive in my checking account every single month. Or I want to have a credit card paid off in the next 12 months. These are time-bound. They have dollar signs attached to them. The second one, credit cards paid off in 12 months. So if I have $15 left on my credit card in 12 months and 1 day, did I pass or did I fail? I failed because it says paid off in 12 months. $300 a month surplus each month. So if I hit $300 every single month, I'm passing. I don't want to hear wishy-washy, someday, more money, do better, none of that nonsense. You need to know within a quarter of a second, did I pass this test that I gave myself or did I fail it? And if I failed it, why did I fail it? But we'll get into that a little bit later on setting goals for yourself. But your goals, your key results need to be measurable, time-bound, dollar signs attached, numbers attached. Carrots and sticks. What are carrots and sticks? All right, I gave an example over here on the right. A carrot is a reward. It is a treat. You did something, you had a surplus of $300 for the last 4 months, and you decided to give yourself a reward. I'm going to go to this concert that I've been saving up for. It's only $60 for a ticket. I've done way more than what I thought I could do by hitting $300 a month surplus in my checking account every single month the last 6 months. I'm going to a concert. That is my reward. A stick is a pain point, and a pain point is actually better at motivating people than carrots are. So carrots are reward, sticks are punishment. If I don't pay off my credit cards in the next 12 months, 365 days, on that next day after my goal is up, if I haven't paid them all off, I have to take my favorite prized jacket out of my closet and I have to drive down to the donation center and donate it and never see that jacket again. I don't want to do that. I love this jacket. I will do anything to keep this jacket. And by anything, I'm going to pay off my credit cards. I hope you guys are getting this. Concert, donating your favorite jacket, whatever gets you motivated in a positive or negative way, put that in there. Make sure it is seriously motivating, because that's what's going to get you going and moving through the tough times when you have those setbacks, because you will have setbacks along the way. You don't want to hit that pain point, or you do want to get that concert ticket, whatever. Checkups. Daily, weekly, monthly. All right. So we're trying to build good habits here. And you do that through repetition and just discipline. You're disciplined, you're charging through to create a good habit. A habit is something that you do all the time that's positive, and then eventually we're trying to turn that habit into what's known as a reflex. And a reflex is you just breathe, you just do it, you don't even think about it. An example of a daily habit or a reflex would be, at the end of every day, I'm going to check the app on my phone and I'm going to make sure that everything that I spent my money on went into the correct category. It didn't go into the wrong one. It's going to throw my numbers off from my bookkeeper at the end of the month. So I'm going to check it, just make sure that we're good every single day, 8 p.m. every single night. I'm going to do it. Well, weekly goal. A weekly goal might be, okay, once a week, I'm going to gather up all my bills, all my receipts, and I'm going to I'm going to write a little note on what it is that is, what category this is supposed to be in, whether it's groceries or household expenses or utility bill. And I'm going to email it to my bookkeeper so that he has it. And I'm doing it on a weekly basis because that works out for my life, but it's consistent. I'm always getting it done. Monthly, that would be to review your numbers, to make sure that all of your numbers are accurate and you're hitting that $300 a month surplus, or you've paid off 1/12 of your credit card balance, or what have you there. What I'm trying to get at here is that you're going to have to do things for your financial well-being on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. It doesn't matter where it falls into, as long as it falls into one of those categories and it continuously gets done. You have to build good financial habits throughout this whole process in this financial freedom plan, or it won't work. And you have to turn it into from a discipline to a habit, and then into a reflex where you're not even thinking about it. How to deal with problems, the bugs. So here's a cute picture here. And the bugs, I'm going to explain it to you. If you look at a rock on the ground and it's kind of like stuck in the ground, like half sticking out of the ground, the part you can see is nice and shiny and smooth and clean and looks nice and is, whatever. If you ever grab that rock and you yank it out, what's under every single rock in the ground? Dirt, bugs, creepy crawlies, gross stuff. That is a great analogy of people's financial situations. On the outside, it's smooth and clean and everything looks good and everybody's got plenty of money and everybody's living the greatest life that they ever possibly could live. But you actually dig down at your neighbor's books or your friend's books or someone on the internet's books who keeps talking about how great their lives are. That's the other side of the rock. Everybody has bugs on the other side of the rock. How are we going to deal with these bugs? Let's go through them. We'll go through a couple of these one at a time. This is the general ones. Late bills. All right. So let's say you got behind on your bills and the interest is starting to pile up, or they're going into collections, or maybe you had a bill and you completely forgot that it got sent to the wrong house and now it's in collections. You didn't even realize you had this bill and you're just like, what the heck is this? Well, you can pull your credit report once a year from the government, and you can kind of get a snapshot of what's on your credit report there. This is where companies or whoever you've done business with have sent your financial information to. They're reporting on you, whether it's good or bad. If it's good, then you're not going to have any negative remarks on there. If you have some bad stuff, then you're going to have some remarks on there. How do you deal with the late bills and bugs? Well, first of all, you need to find out what's late, what's missing. So pull up your credit report and see what's on there. Call the 1-800 numbers up. Call the companies up. What is this? What is this charge? Who are you? What is this? Those are the ones for the unknown. The known ones that you're behind on, that you've kind of been like not opening the bill and only paying the minimum amount. What's the interest rate on that? What's the charges? These businesses don't want to report you to the credit bureaus. That is just their last resort. Is this person's not paying me, so I have to ruin his credit or take him to collections or whatever. They just want to be paid. Call them up. negotiate with them. Tell them what happened. Maybe there was an issue financially. Tell them you want to get on a payment plan. You want to work with them. Opening up the line of communication with these companies, they're actually willing to work with you and be open. Just say, hey, listen, I got behind. I want to get back on track. What can we do? I want to get this paid off. Many of them won't require you to pay the full amount. Some of them are just like, hey, I'm just glad this guy called me back. Like, let's see if we can work something out, a payment plan or low interest or no interest. Maybe we can cut off these fees, whatever. Organize them from lowest to biggest and maybe just start knocking them out that way, or highest interest rate, knock that one out first, whatever, doesn't matter. Look at the bugs, realize that you got some issues, swallow your pride and start knocking these out. Thinking you have insurance, but you don't. This is actually someone I know personally. They went to the doctor and they thought that they had insurance and it lapsed, and their medical expenses were not covered at all. They were just like a regular person walking in and getting the full amount charged, and they got this bill and they freaked out. They were just like, this was thousands and thousands of dollars worth of expenses that they had to pay. Luckily, they worked it out with the hospital and they got on a payment plan. So kind of like the late bill scenario that we just talked about there. And they got it moving. What I'm trying to get you here is that look at all of your different insurance policies that you have. What are you covered in? What are you not covered in? What is lapsed? Do you have extra insurance that you really don't need, that doesn't make any sense for you? Maybe you should get rid of it. Or, oh crap, this one policy that I had lapsed. I need to get this fixed. I need to get this turned back on. Who knows? You could be driving around without any car insurance. That's not good. This is avoiding a giant landmine down the road. Yes, you might have to spend a little bit of money now, but you don't want to be in that situation where you need insurance but don't have it. So get those taken care of. Overspending on credit cards, that's pretty much self-explanatory. We know what we need to do there. And then gym memberships, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is the cliche where I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go to the gym. It's January 1st, current year. I'm going to get in shape. So you start paying that gym membership. And then now it's April. And you're like, I haven't been in the gym since January 30th. But I'm still paying this exorbitant gym membership out of guilt because I'm going to go. But then if you're going to go, then go. If you're not going to go, then stop paying for it. Cancel your membership. There was a guy that I know, he had a real estate investment software system that was $100 a month, and he was paying it, and he realized, I don't even use this anymore. I personally had one that was for Adobe, and I got this charge. It was like $45. I'm like, where is this coming from? I signed up for something. I thought I was using it, or I just forgot that I had it. And I keep paying for it. This is the gym membership is the catch-all cliche. I'm paying for stuff I don't even use. Get rid of it. Be warned and be ready. When you're looking under the rocks, you're going to find some bugs. And guys, I will tell you this right now. Take these problems a little bit at a time. And I'm going to be 100% honest here and a little bit to the point and direct. Unsuccessful people think that success looks like the picture here on the left. It's a straight line going up. It's super easy. Everybody can do it. They're lucky. They got doors opened up for them. Nepotism, whatever. Excuse, excuse, excuse. Every successful person that I know is living on the right side there, that picture, the squiggly line, crazy mess. I have had some success in my life. Trust me, it has not been the picture on the left there, the straight line. It has been that squiggly mess on the right-hand side. What's my point? My point is that you might take 2 steps forward and 1 step back a lot, but you have to keep fighting. You have to keep moving forward. You have to keep punching and moving and calling these people up, getting these late bills knocked out, finding these gym membership things and getting them cut out. It's going to be a painful process, but anything in life is worth getting is painful. Stick with it. Don't give up. Growing your path to success. Establish stretch goals. We kind of touched on this a little bit already, but I want to emphasize on it again and add one more caveat. It's numbers and time bound. And it's also a little bit tough. You have these goals, be prepared to hit them. Let's go back to that one example of having $300 in our surplus in our checking account every single month. If you know for a fact that you can hit $100 a month plus in your checking account without even trying, that's not a stretch goal. That's easy. That's not the goal. Don't make that your goal. If you know that having $1,000 plus in your checking account every single month is next to impossible, that's having too strict of a budget. That's that stupid ramen noodles and rusty bike scenario. You're not going to be able to hit that consistently. Don't make that the goal either. Make it something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone. If it's tough to hit 250 or 300, maybe that's your goal. It needs to be a stretch goal. It needs to be something out of your comfort zone. It needs to be something that you maybe don't think you can hit, because that's where the creativity comes in. That's where you try to figure out, how can I? How can I? Always ask yourself, how can I? Not I can't, I can't. None of that I can't crap statements. Think of how can I statements. How can I hit this? Eating the elephant one bite at a time. Some of your messes are going to be big. And when I mean big, I don't mean a $500 credit card or whatever. I'm talking like 6 figures, even 7 figures of debt and nonsense. And you're just going to be like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get this with $300 a month stretch goal. Let's do an example here of how we can kind of knock this out a little bit at a time. And there is a reason why I put eating the elephant up here. How do you knock out $100,000 of student loan debt and you only make $30,000 a year? Waypoints and action points. A waypoint is a marker along the way to that giant, huge goal. And I put down an arbitrary number here, $10,000. We're not trying to hit $100,000. We're trying to hit $10,000. Is $10,000 reasonable? Well, it's hard, it's tough, but it's something we can do. It's something that we can potentially hit. And what is an action point? An action point is an actual get up off the couch, do something action that gets you to that $10,000. And that is, I'm going to do steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so that I can get $500 surplus in my monthly bank account so that I can start knocking out that $10,000. And when I hit that $10,000, that means I only have to hit $90,000 on my big, huge goal. But I'm only going to focus on the next $10,000. I hit $10,000 once, I can do it again. Make these goals smaller and manageable. Like I said before, anything worth getting, like the huge, massive goals in life, chunk them out. Eat that elephant one bite at a time. If an elephant weighs, I don't even know how much elephants weigh, 3,000 pounds, 4,000 pounds. I don't know. There's elephants of different sizes. Anyway, you're not going to eat it in one sitting. One bite at a time. Anybody can take one bite at a time. That's what we're trying to get at here. And trust me, if you are hitting that $500 monthly payment, your brain is going to start to influence your behavior and then your results. And that $500 potentially is going to go up. 80-20 rule. Dial in on your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. Let's go back to a few slides before where I was talking about impulse shopping. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that you have an impulse shopping problem. You are up at the register, that candy, that gum, that stupid magazine falls on the belt magically, and somehow it ends up in your shopping cart an extra $3 or $4 every single time. Okay. How can we minimize this weakness? Let's just give up and say we can't cure you. You can't be cured. You're an impulse shopper till the day you die. What do? Well, one thing we could do is, instead of going to the grocery store 2 or 3 times a week, let's just go once. All right. Now we're only buying candy and gum and stupid magazines once a week instead of 3 or 4 times a week. Okay, great. How can we eliminate that? How about that cart to curbside pickup service? Just get all the groceries that you absolutely want. Now you've completely eliminated that front end cashier nightmare that always gets you every single time. That's how you minimize weaknesses, or completely eliminate them. You have to think outside the box a little bit on this. Reach out to different websites that could potentially give you some advice, talk to friends, tips, or just get out there and just go, I struggle with this. How is anybody else? And then they're like, yeah, I used to. This is how I solved it. And then you get some synergies. You're going to need a network of people that are willing to help you. So give and receive in those networks that you kind of create. There's everybody out there who wants to help each other. Dial in on your strengths. So let's say that maybe I have a side business. I have a W-2 job, my normal income job, but my 9-to-5 job, so to speak. I have this side business here. And right now I'm kind of like just playing around. It's like a little bit of a hobby. And you're kind of like, well, you know what? I think I really like this, and I really want to move up, and maybe I could potentially expand this a little bit to where it's becoming a more significant portion of income. But I'm so good at this that I can figure out ways to expand my income without putting in more hours into this, so that hitting that $500 monthly payment, now it goes up to maybe $550, and then $600, and then $700, whatever. Figure out what your strengths are and dial in on those. You're going to get 80% of your results by dialing in on your strengths. Focus on those way more than worrying about your weaknesses. Just try to minimize your weaknesses and just realize that you are human and you're going to make mistakes along the way. But dial in on those strengths, because that's what is going to give you exponential growth. Huge results. Minimizing your weaknesses will give you incremental results, smaller results, but still good, but just won't be as big as the dialing in on the strengths. Milestone rewards. Oh my God, we hit 50K. We paid off 50K of our $100,000 student loan debt. Give yourself a big reward. We're going back to the carrots and sticks along the way. This is a bigger carrot. And bigger doesn't mean that you blow up your finances and spend $10,000 on a party. No, that's dumb. Do something that you're really, really going to enjoy. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be attached to dollar signs. By this time, you're already thinking outside the box. And in the next couple of slides here, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. But I want to make sure that you're having that. Don't be afraid to put a big, huge reward out there at those big milestone markers, that halfway point, 3/4, where you've really put in the time, sweat, blood, and tears and gotten further than what you ever thought that you possibly could. Remember, guys, the winning formula is you should eat ramen noodles and drink tap water and ride a rusty bike everywhere. I'm hoping that this is becoming more of an apparent joke than what it was before. The point that I brought that slide up, that prior slide up, was because there's people out there that think that you can't have a fun and nice and enjoyable life without spending a ton of money. Think outside the box. How can I experience this at a reduced price? How can I still have my fun, but not blow up my bank account? Let's see if we can't figure this out together at least a little bit. How can I experience it for free? That's even better. Dealing with the wants, non-negotiables. Let's see if we can't add on this here. So a non-negotiable is, this is your cutoff point. This is your, I refuse to cut this any lower in my life. Let's give some examples here. I'm not getting rid of caffeine. Maybe you love your coffee. You love the smell of it. You love the routine of it. You love all of it. And you're just like, I'm not giving up caffeine. I will have caffeine in my life. Or I love concerts. I'm going to go to concerts. I'm not giving those up. I'm not riding around in my rusty bike and my ramen noodles and not going to concerts. I love my concerts. They mean a lot to me. If you remember at the beginning of this presentation, I talked about there's certain parts of your life where you should contract, and there's certain parts of your life where you should expand. Doing a brutal cross-the-board cut on all of your expenses is not a good way to live your life. It doesn't make sense. Certain things in your life mean way more to you than others do. It could be caffeine. It could be concerts. It's just examples here. Taking the bus. I'm not taking the bus. I hate the bus. The bus stinks. I am driving in my car. Or I'm not going to live in a cardboard box. The cardboard box is part of a joke, but that basically means I'm not living in the cheapest, grossest place in the town that I live in just to save a couple of bucks a month. That's disgusting. I'm not doing it. So that was the non-negotiables. What are negotiables? Let's give some examples here. They can't make any sense. Grocery store coffee versus Starbucks. So yeah, you got to have your caffeine. You got to have it at $4 or $5 a cup. Maybe you can get grocery store coffee that's like 10 cents a cup, 25 cents a cup. You're still getting your caffeine, and heck, Starbucks even sells their coffee at the store. And I'm not telling you that you can't get the gourmet coffee at the store. It's still going to be cheaper than someone making it for you at a Starbucks type place. You're getting your caffeine, you're getting it at a reduced price, you're getting the best of both worlds. Great. That's what we're looking for here. Concerts. All right. Front row, platinum, backstage passes, seats versus middle seats. Can I still see this person singing from the middle of the seats? Yes, I can. Okay. I don't need front row seats every time I go. But maybe one of those big milestones, that might be front row seats with the double platinum backstage pass things after I paid off $50,000 of my student loan debt. Used car versus a new car. Cars are in that category of things that rust, rot, and depreciate. Do you need a new car? No, the correct answer is no, you don't need a new car. Do you want a new car? Well, that might be different. You might want one, you might not. A year-old car or a 2-year-old car is going to get you from point A to point B just as efficiently and effective as a new car would. The difference is the price. Is this a negotiable for you? Maybe it's not a negotiable for you. I don't know. Maybe having a new car all the time is a non-negotiable. The point here is that we're trying to figure out what is a non-negotiable in your life and what is a negotiable. How can I have what I absolutely positively need to want in my life for me to function like a normal adult without going crazy? How can I get that at a reduced price or free? There are ways to get free stuff too, depending on how resourceful you want to get. Cheaper house. So yes, I don't want to live in a cardboard box, but I also don't need to live in a mansion. I don't need to live in the hugest, biggest, nicest house on the McMansion cookie cutter. I'm super wealthy on the outside. I got bugs underneath the rocks on the other side type of house. I can live in a cheaper house. I can live in an older neighborhood. I can live in a plain, modest house. It's a negotiable. Compromise with yourself. That's the only person that matters. Because if you're happy and you're financially successful and you're smart and you are living the life that you want to live, the people around you will appreciate that too. Monthly expense report. Now, this is where some people will start to cringe and freak out. This is super simple, guys. It's no big deal. Either you can fill this out or someone that you trust with your finances can fill this out, or you can have an app that does the halfway middle part of it. This is a very generic monthly expense report. It is simple, pretty straightforward, and anybody can look at this and understand if they are doing well or falling behind. This is the overview. On the next page, I'll go through it here really quickly. But your income that we're going to put in here is your net income, your actual take-home pay, and then the grand total of that if you have multiple jobs. Expenses. The expenses are going to be monthly. It's on a monthly basis, and it's predictable. Everything is on a monthly basis here. Reserves. These are the unpredictable. This is where budgets fail. This is where freedom plans crush budgets. Your summary. This is basically 1, 2, 3, all in a one line, nice summary. This is what that means. 1, 2, and 3 are the details of the summary. And then 5 is a third, a third, a third. We'll talk about that in a second. So, at first, some people might freak out. This looks like too much information. It's really not. Let's walk through it together really quickly. Starting up here at the top left, you have your month and year. It is April 2000, blah, blah, blah. Write that in there. Now that's how you track your finances. What month is what year is what. Simple. Next is your income, just like we talked about, your W-2 income, your side job. If you have a second side job, then put that in there. Your net income is the total right here of what you completely made that month. So if you had 2 pays that month, then it would be smaller than if you had that 3 pay month that we get once or twice a year. I think it's twice a year. Your expenses. Now, I put a very specific number in here, and this isn't from someone else's expenses. It's the point that I'm trying to make here is that this is specific to you. This isn't what your neighbors think you should be spending or what someone on the internet like me told you should be spending. It is your expenses. This is what your target is. This is what I want to be spending every single month or less. Less is great too, but I also don't want to kill myself. I don't want to be ramen noodle rusty bike guy. Now we're just going to break it down by the subcategories. Your car. You got gas for your car. You spend gas on your car every single month. This person spends $60. Okay, great. You just put that one little $60 in there, and then the grand total goes to the top, and that's $60. So if you spent 57, you're under by $3. Awesome. Next is household, and you can see there that the grand total for that one is $2,365, and now it's broken down here by the subcategories that are under what would be considered a household type of situation. So you see your utilities there. You see this person has a coach that's near the lower middle of that category. The coach is $500 a month. You're looking for pretty consistent, predictable numbers here. Now, the heat will be higher in the wintertime versus the summertime. So let's just say that your heat is $150 or $200 in the wintertime, January and December. Did you blow up your budget? Well, at first glance, maybe you did, but just remember that in July and June or August, your heat was at $0. This $100 here is your average for the 12 months. Most of the time you want to be hitting that number. Your mortgage should be the same every single month. Student loan payment, it should be the same every single month. Internet, cell phone, whatever. the ones that are going to fluctuate, they should fluctuate when they should fluctuate, basically, when it makes sense. Medical and dental. Now, this is not an expense that should be coming out of your W-2, like you have a medical plan at work. This is someone that had a medical and dental collections, and they're paying on it, and it's $150 a month. They worked out with the medical/dental company, and they have a collection, and it's at $150 a month, and they're going to make a $150 a month payment until it's paid off. And that's a predictable expense. And then once that falls off, then now just erase and disappear. If you have more things on there, then just add them on there if you have to make minimum payments. Consumables. Remember we talked about budgets that they are across the board, pain in the neck, gross, not fun. Well, this person gets to go out and dine for, basically once a month for 2 people. Now, if you want to go higher, then go higher. If you don't, then that's fine too. Health and beauty. This is basically groceries that are non-consumable. So we don't eat toothpaste or shampoo. So we're putting that in there. And you're probably wondering, why are there so many subcategories? Well, you can expand and contract these subcategories. It doesn't really matter. The point is the more that you have, the easier you can to dial in on what expense is blowing up or you're doing really well in. But there's more categories, and you kind of there's more busy work that you have to do. The counterpoint to that is you could have less categories and they're more broad and general, and you won't be able to dial in as well, but it'll also be easier to fill it out. The point is, use this as a basic bare bones template to jump off of for informational purposes only. Entertainment, this person spends $100 a month on entertainment. And it also has gifts on here. Now, I don't know about you, but every single month it seems to be Christmas. It seems to be someone's birthday. Someone is dying or died. Someone is in the hospital and they're sick. Someone got married. Someone had an anniversary. Somebody graduated college. And all these seem to happen on the same month, every single month, all the time. For whatever reason, someone is doing something and they need a present for it. Whatever. This is the average. Every single month, this person spends $100 a month on gifts, anniversary stuff. So an anniversary gift is something that people don't necessarily put in a budget. And we put it in here because it's important. And there's also personal there right above gifts. That's kind of like a catch-all. I want to spend something on myself. That's kind of just, I just want to spend something on myself. And then they allot $50 for themselves. Like I said, the numbers are arbitrary. It doesn't matter what those numbers are. It's just that you are accounting for that and you're allowed to spend something in that category for yourself. And you're allotting it, which makes it much better than a ramen noodle, rusty bike lifestyle. Reserves. Budgets do not have reserves. Reserves are the unexpected things that happen in life, or the things that don't happen every single month. So let's go to the top right here, the coaching retreats. This person has a coach and they also do retreats where it costs money to go on these retreats. And there's 3 a year, and there's 3 of them a year, and it's $1,500 per trip. So 3 times 100, $1,500. If you add all that up, that's $4,500. And if you divide that by 12, that's $375 this person has to save every single month for a retreat. So let's say they don't go on a retreat till April. So then that means they have to save up for January, February, March. Boom. Now they have most of that money saved up. But anyway, either way, they're calculating out how much do I have to put away and save for something like a bigger ticket item that doesn't come every single month. This is your bank account, what it should be looking like. It should be growing, and then all of a sudden it'll drop by $1,500, and you're like, okay, I went on a retreat. No big deal. I was expecting that. So this is not where you can get frustrated. You already know this thing is coming. If you have insurance for your cars, well, you should, then you pay it maybe every 6 months. That's usually the cheapest way that they try to sell it to you, every 6 months. Okay, then I just need to save up $100 every single month to hit that $1,200 a month yearly payment. And let's say you pay it twice a year, whatever, but I have it here as a yearly payment. Maintaining cars, also a used car. We're saving up for a used car all the time, so we have to get a stupid car loan. We can buy a $10,000 car every 10 years times 2. We can buy 2 of them every 10 years. Vacations, we have that in there as well. Are you seeing how we have the not every monthly expenses accounted for in here, and we're not sitting at home wasting away to nothing, waiting for Sunday to spend some money? Now, like I said, you can plug your own numbers in here. This is just a template. Let's move down here to the summary. One more quick thing on the reserves. Your reserves is your kind of like temporary savings account. You're saving up this money for when you do need to spend it on one of these larger ticket items. And then once that money kind of disappears, then you start saving for it again. But the point is that when that unexpected rainy day does happen, you have the money there. That's what makes this more palatable and less stressful and less frustrating and more exciting and inspiring. Summary: total money earned versus all the money that you spent. Simple. You add up all your car expenses, house expenses, consumable expenses, reserves, what you spent there. You put that on the right dollar sign there, and you subtract that from the total income that you made. And hopefully, if you did everything right and you didn't have any big unexpected explosions pop up in your life, you're going to have a surplus. Yay! Great. What do you do with that surplus? Well, this is a general feeling on this, and you can fluctuate this around as much as you want. You can take that surplus and you can put money into paying off a debt. Maybe you want to knock out that medical dental a little bit harder. You take a third of it and you put it into your debt pay down. Or, God forbid, you actually have some fun with this money that you work so hard to accumulate, and have some fun with it. Your fun fund. Or you add it to your reserves and bulk that up some more. Maybe you took some hits in your reserves a while back, and you need to build that up again. And this person has a goal here, surplus of an average of $1,000 a month. Time-based. Dollar amounts. This is what you're looking for, people. This is not the perfect monthly tracking budget sheet, but it's a great place to start. Make it your own. Adjustments and notes. This is kind of a thing that you would put down here where I think I said in the beginning, we were talking about how budgets aren't made for tweaking, but freedom plans are. So let's say that your cell phone bill over here on the left went from $75 up to $80. Well, if you don't tweak it, you're going to be over on your cell phone budget every single month through no fault of your own. Now, what you could do is you can go out and try to find another cell phone carrier, whatever. But let's just say that all the other cell phone carriers are at $80 too. So there's no point in changing. Okay, well, we can increase our total expenses up to $3,680, or we could subtract money, $5 from somewhere else, and keep everything the same. Or we can try to make an extra $5 through our side job. Adjustments and notes allow you to roll with the punches. Let's say that maybe your reserves are topped out, like you haven't had to, things have been going good. Like you have the money saved up for the car, man, you're killing it. And maybe your house remodel, maybe you decide not to do a house remodel. You're just going to just leave it as is, that kitchen that you were going to redo, that bathroom that you were going to redo, whatever. You weren't going to do that. Okay. So let's put that money somewhere else. Let's pay off a debt. Let's have some fun with it, whatever. But this is kind of like some notes that this is what I learned from this month. This is what I need to do better next month, whatever. Does this help you? Let me know down in the comments. Thoughts? Did we answer all your questions? What blatant question did we miss? What did we harp on way too much? Let us know and down in the comments, what are you struggling with your financial goals? What types of videos would you like to see next? Please like and comment and subscribe. And if you are on Facebook, check us out at 9 to 5ers. Guys, we are here so that you can be smarter today and richer tomorrow.